All right, I'm live, but I don't see anything on the camera. Randy, do you see anything on the camera? Let me see. Hold on. There's 4 people watching, but I cannot see myself on the camera. What is going on here? Hold on. It's a black screen. That's not good. Hold on. Let me reboot it. Hold on, guys. And that's weird. Hey everybody, I cannot see anything on my screen as far as my camera. That is strange. Let me get out and go back in. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. Hey, everybody. I still can't see myself on this thing. I hope this isn't crazy. Hold on. Let me see. Camera. There's the camera. Audio. Audio's on. General. I cannot see myself, guys. What is going on here? I can see everyone in the chat. Jeff, Ketchika, Randy, Steve, everybody. But I cannot see myself. Can you guys actually see me? Because right now I have a black screen. I'm looking at a black screen. I cannot see myself. Let me see. Stop cam. That brings up that. But when I hit the cam, it should bring up the camera and me. And I literally, it's a black screen. Hi, Henry. What the heck is going on? Exit solo layout. Let me leave the studio. That's weird, guys. I cannot. Can you guys actually see me? Because I cannot see anything on the screen except for the chat and a black screen in front of me. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me as long as whoever comes up, Gary and Buluket and those guys, when they come up, I can click them on. Yeah, you can see me. My screen literally is black. Holy crap. Hold on. Cam mic. Let me see. Virtual background. Let me shut off the virtual background. Hold on. None. All right. So. There we go. All right. Now I can see myself. You know what it is? When I hit the virtual screen, I couldn't see myself. That's weird. That is weird. That's all right, Rich. We're here to talk about generators and electricity and all that stuff. We're scheduled to have Gary B, Bassguitarist1985. He's scheduled to come up. What else? We've got Buluket, Cajun Coin Hunter. He said he wanted to come up and discuss some electrical questions. So we'll have him come up. And I was told by Mr. Condon, James Condon, that he should be in the chat for maybe 45 minutes or so. So hopefully we'll do that. But just a few ground rules, guys. This is a Q&A stream. I do these maybe once a month. where people get to ask questions and we get to answer them. All right. Saying hello to everyone, all that, that's great. We do that on the regular streams. We do a lot of banter. We have people come up and joke and kid around and all that. This is for the serious side of things where people want to know about generators, electricity, electronics with small engines and stuff like that. It's your chance to ask a question, and I'll hopefully have experts on panel that can answer them for you, like Mr. Condon and Gary and Buluket and those guys. So if you guys got any questions regarding generators and generating, electrical, electronics, things like that, post them. I don't see anyone in the basement yet. I had sent the link out to Gary and to Buluket, so hopefully you guys got all that. We should. I'm just waiting for them to come up. Dr. LM, hello. How are you? So I'm just waiting for my co-host to show up. It's a little early, a few minutes early. We're scheduled for 4:30. It's now 4:26 Eastern time. I was just over at Luke and Laura's Mend It Man. He has a live stream going on right now. And the reason we're doing it at this time is all of our friends in the UK are 5 hours ahead of me on the East Coast here. So when we usually go on at 9 p.m. at night, which is a better time for Jim and some other people, it's 2 a.m. there. So people don't want to come up at 2 a.m. They're sleeping. So we're doing it now at 4:30. Hey, there's Jim. How are you? Mr. Condon is here. Thanks for showing up, Jim. Like I said, anyone over in the UK, Europe, whatever, it's only 9:30 your time. So hopefully you're still up. You're not in bed. So if you have any questions, feel free, and we'll go from there. Jim, I believe, is going to stay in the chat for probably 45 minutes, so that'll be good. There's Andrew. Andrew, check out his channel, Andrew's Mower and Small Engine. He's over in the UK. And he's just starting out, got about 40 subs or so check him out. If you want, Andrew, you can put your link in the chat. That's fine. But like I said, tonight is Q&A. Tonight is talking about generators, electricity, and all that. I don't see anyone in the basement yet. Jim, I'll ask you a question, though, if I may. I was talking to someone about generators, and I was looking at one of the videos, and the part of the generator that idles it down to a lower RPM. My question on that is, I don't get that. Meaning, you have a generator and you're powering your house or you're powering your refrigerator or whatever. Wouldn't it always be on, requiring the full 60 hertz to provide electricity? When would it have a chance to kick down to, I think Gary said 48 hertz or something for like the kick down RPM? When would that happen? I can't see, if you're using a generator, when would it not require any power consumption if you have something plugged into it? That I still didn't get. Hey, Scotty, and Klaus is here too. Hello, everybody. Yeah, that's one thing that confused me. I don't know if you can answer that easily, Jim, or if we can wait for Gary. Either way, best at a construction site. Okay, yeah. Yep, all right, I get it. So if they're not using something that requires instantaneous, okay. That makes sense. I'm just thinking at home, when would you not have a load on it? When would that option be a good thing? So, DK's here. Hello, Dennis. We got Dennis. We got Klaus over in Denmark. We got Scotty over there in the UK. So, you guys, you didn't have to get up at 2 a.m. We got Catch It Cows in there. Edward is in there. Let's see. Andrew. Yeah, we had a good live stream. Yeah, at home, you'd never need that feature. That's why I was wondering, if you're going to buy a generator for your home, would you spend the extra money for that feature? Probably not then. Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. And I know Grandpa Kevin was asking today about, actually, you know what, Hobby? Klaus, I'm having a video come out using one of your Z-bed adapters. I actually had a chance to use one on a snowblower, so I'll have that video coming out this weekend. Grandpa Kevin was asking why generators, some of them don't have swivel casters on the front instead of just those rubber things or fixed wheels. He wants to be able to swing it around. I told him to look at Tractor Supply or look at McMaster Car. So what does Chris say here? At startup, there is a spike when something is running. Yeah, but it can't drop down too low, though, or else you'll overheat the motor if the hertz aren't high enough. I know when you have 60 hertz motors and you try and run them on a lower hertz, like a 50, it overheats. What's this here? Cause issues. It needs about 100 watts. Yeah, someone was saying that. Always have something turned on before, plugged in when you start it. I don't know. That's interesting. Someone said that the other day. You should have a load on it all the time. Interesting. Let's see who else we got in here. We got the normal guys. Everyone's here. I don't see Gary yet. I don't see Buluket yet. It's now 4:31, so hopefully they'll be showing up shortly. Let me check my emails and see if anyone emailed me saying I didn't get the link. I know they did, but let's see. Let's see. Nope, nothing yet. Let's see. Nope. All right. So, like I said, there it is. Setting up now. Okay, Gary, cool. There's Gary B. He's setting up, which is great. Let's see. Yeah, Andrew, we'll catch you on your stream, but actually catch us too tomorrow on Top Conquer at Mixold time, 1:30 Eastern time. Actually, no, 2:00 Eastern time, 7:00 UK time tomorrow. All right, it was. How far are you from the Patés, Chris? Because we went to that really cool restaurant. What was the name of that restaurant, Henry? It was a great restaurant with the lamb pops. Oh my God, that was delish. Hey, Sandy. Oh, Mr. Transit Camper's here too. Love his channel. Everyone's saying hello, Jeff. Tell Kevin he's got a cart for his generator. He was just saying to move it around, he'd rather have casters because normally you have a fixed axle with 2 wheels and then 2 rubber pads. Whereas if he had casters, you could at least swivel it around. So 4 blocks. Oh, wow. So I wonder, are you closer to Henry? Because we stopped by his place too. Those guys are like kissing cousins. They're right there, like 2 blocks from each other. So nice area, though. I mean, expensive, but a nice area, that's for sure. We had Henry and I had the most expensive breakfast ever at the Dix Hills Diner. We had a good time, though. And everyone's saying hello. What does Dennis say with casters and running? Yeah, it might. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if he just wants casters instead of the rubber mounts on front, or if he wants casters on all of them so you can move it easily. You could buy lockable casters. The casters lock as well. So it's a 4-caster wheel. Well, you got to talk to Kevin, Jeff. How far are you from him, Jeff? Oh, like I said, we're still waiting. Once Gary comes up, and I think Buluket said he wanted to come up. He had some electrical questions. We were talking about diodes today with Buluket, or actually last night. So, yep, we're hanging in there. Michael, how are you? Hugo, good to see you. About 23 minutes. Oh, that's not bad. Not bad at all. That's just a hop, skip, and jump. So, like I said, tonight, if anyone has any questions related to small engine electrics, generators, anything, even stators and alternators and things in small engines, we got some really good guys on panel, and it's going to be in the chat as well. Yeah, it was a great diner, just a little bit expensive. Yeah, Ruvo, that's where we were. Ruvo, what a great place. That was a really, really nice place. I definitely want to go back there again. Hello, Thomas. How are you? Hanioki. Hope you're feeling better, Hanioki. Hope the hand's doing better. Everyone's saying hello. Like I said, we're just waiting for Gary to chime in and waiting for... we got Mr. Condon in the chat, though, so if anyone does have a question, Jim Condon is in the chat. So if you have a question, feel free. When Gary comes up, it'll be a little more formal with the panel and all that. And hopefully Buluket will be up too. I think he said he might be a little later because it's around the time that, businesses close. This is 4:30-ish. Most businesses close at 4:30, 5 o'clock. So All right. Hello, Rob. How are you? Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Yeah, we hope you're doing good. Let's see. What do we got here, Chris? I think portable Jennies don't have casters. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it has rubber feet. It's just, I know when Jim buys generators, sometimes either they don't have wheels or they don't have feet. I don't know. Why would people take those off, though? They buy a nice generator and they butcher it. I don't know why they do that. So everyone's saying hello, hello, hello. Yeah, this stream was advertised on James Condon's community page, as well as Gary Bassguitarist1985, his community page. So hopefully we'll have a few people here. We got about 29:30 right now. I think the last time we did it, we got as high as about 100, I think, once it started going. So let's see. Hello, Chris. How are you, Mr. Perks? Hope all is well. Everyone's still there we go. Gary, what are you outside, Gary? Looks like you got a hat on.
Getting myself set up here.
There you go. How are you, brother?
How you doing, big man?
Good.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just setting up a slightly new toy here. I have I'm big into audio equipment, as a lot of people know on my channel, but I'm getting my diaphragm mic set up here, so I don't know if you guys can hear me okay.
Oh, yeah. I wish my mother didn't throw away my Ecstatic D104 mic, the Lollipop. I used to love it.
The Lollipop. Yeah.
It's when I was into CBs back probably before you were born. I was into CBs, and we used to do all that Breaker 19 stuff, you know.
If the world ever goes to hell, shortwave radio is going to be the only way to communicate.
Oh, yeah. We did that from like 74 to like 78. Let's see. Who else we got?
So how's everyone doing? Sorry I'm a little late. I had my wife and I, we had to do some quick shopping over at Costco and BJ's, and we grabbed a couple last minute items here before the day was out.
Yeah, no worries. We got Mr. Condon in the chat.
Hey, James, how are you? All right. The only other thing I wanted to check, where my USB cord went. It's probably, I might just have to fly solo without. You guys can hear me okay, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Now, what type of microphone do you say?
It is a large diaphragm mic, but I got a 2 preamp. I have all kinds of audio stuff here. It's a Sterling one. It's not a very expensive one. But what I'm trying to find is I have a little sub mixer where I can do stuff with it, but I don't think I have it anywhere. Oh well.
I want to buy one of those. Was it Rode microphones? So I can, when I do my audit, my videos, because they say a lot of times when I'm outside, especially, you can barely hear me.
Oh, really?
But I know Mick and a few of the other guys bought one of those. They're like $200-300. The wireless Rode mics.
Those are nice. Yeah. The one that I have that's a large diaphragm is about $300, and it's usually what I use for like vocal recording and whatnot. Yeah, I can't seem to find my USB cord. I'm sure it'll turn up when I'm not looking for it, but not the end of the world. So,
well, here's a question while we got you here.
Yeah, of course.
Michael's asking too. If you had a generator that was made in the USA for 60 hertz, 3,600 RPM, can you throttle it down to 50 hertz, 3,000 RPM, and still use it without heating it up or burning it up?
I don't see why not. Let me think about that one for a sec. So if you lower the speed down of the generator to 50 hertz, and you still want to output 240 volts, would that hurt the generator? No, I think you might actually have less capacity in terms of wattage, because the engine has a certain torque curve. So the 3,600 RPM, 60 hertz, you're going to get a certain amount of horsepower. If you lower
so it wouldn't sustain, or what? It would have trouble?
It would probably have, it would have a problem with getting the max. If you have a 7,000 watt generator, you're probably not going to get a full 7,000 watts out of it, because again, the torque curve of the engine, you're going to have a certain amount of pound-feet of torque at a certain RPM and a horsepower at a certain RPM. So the lower RPMs typically that I've seen on the Braves will have a higher torque, but you won't have as much horsepower. And this should be about 2 to 2.5 horsepower for every 1,000 watts.
Let's see. Yeah, we had a big discussion about casters on generators. Yes or no?
Oh,
So,
yes, gotta have them.
well,
Yeah.
I tell you, when I bring them into my truck, I have
Yep.
a tough time with those stupid rubber feet. They grab onto my bed liner, and
They
I
grab
can't
onto
move.
everything, yeah.
Oh, they're heavy. Oh, I'm telling you.
Oh, they're god awful heavy. No, it's not. They're not fun. I just got it's a China made generator. It's a Kipper, Kipor. I just got one of those for about $75. It makes power and everything, but it's got a very gummed up carburetor. Parts seem to be kind of hard to find around here because I guess the U.S. division was over in Salt Lake City, Utah, for a number of years,
Mhm,
and then they closed down. They were really more geared towards like the camping world, the RV world,
mhm,
and this guy just wound up buying a new IQ 3500 Generac,
mhm.
and I paid for $75, and it's a sine wave inverter. I can't wait to dig into it to kind of put it all back together.
I tell you, I saw some of the new Generacs the other day where you got that big knob and you push it in to start it and stuff like that. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to make it more friendly to the customers, and I'm a little bit more hands-on than most consumers. I would rather have a separate fuel petcock and
There
a
you go. There's my
separate
son. You're
filter.
supposed to be working, Nick. What are you doing? You're not supposed to be online. Go back to work. I'll call your steward. Go back to work.
Call your steward, huh?
Union shop over there. Tomorrow's going to be like 2 degrees out, and my kid's
Oh,
like,
I know. It's not
can
going to
we
be.
do breaks tomorrow?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, let's wait till it's 2 degrees out."
Yeah, that is good. It's definitely going to be too cold for comfort tomorrow, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Not gonna be entertained by that in the slightest.
Rob, what is it? Oh, Rob says, is that the same brand? KIPPE?
Yeah, KIPOR.
Yeah.
The latest model is an IG 3000. I believe that's the latest version. I think I have the older version. It's the same model. It's the same generator pretty much. It's just a different model number.
What type of engine though, Gary? Like a Chanda type engine, or what is it?
I honestly haven't even I got it the other day. It weighs like 75, 80 pounds. And the guy, since we're talking about wheel kits, I asked the guy, and because he has the rubber feet on it, because he put it inside his fifth wheel, and that's
Mhm.
what was running his fifth wheel. And he he had the wheel kit, and I says, if you could find it, that would be great. And he dropped it off the other day, and I'm like, this is great. Now I can put it on, and I don't have to break my back trying to lift it up, because I'm going to lift it up onto the
Mm.
workbench and work on it that way. It's got a little access door, you can get to everything. But
This doesn't make sense here, Gary. Excuse me for a second. He's got it running at 36, but he says it's only putting out 50 hertz. That's impossible.
that is impossible. Yeah.
I mean, 50
Um,
hertz is 3,000 RPM. Do the math. It's
I would look to see if you can get a tachometer of some sort. They usually have the small digital ones, and it
yeah,
runs
yeah.
off the induction of
Yeah.
the spark plug.
I gave
Like,
one away at Christmas time.
yeah, so the problem is the dirty waveform, the harmonic distortion, where the wave isn't very clean. You see jagged edges if you were to look at it on an oscilloscope. Yeah, that's exactly what you would need to use
$10.
right there. If you use those are the most accurate, because they're working off the spark plug.
Yep.
Like say a kilowatt meter, or even some of the multimeters, digital multimeters,
Mm.
they have a hard time triggering on the dirty power. Inverters.
Is it an
Are a lot
inverter,
cleaner.
Michael? Is it an inverter, or is it a
The Kipper, yeah, it is an inverter. Yep,
Okay. All right.
it is a pure sine wave inverter.
Okay.
But the inverter unit, I found it on eBay. It's over in China, of course, and it's about $800.
Ooh. Machine. Oh, there we go. LG 2000 Sign Master. That's what Rob had.
Yep, IG 2000. Yep, that's what it is. A sign master. Yep, you are absolutely right.
Sign Master meaning you get a pretty almost
Yeah,
complete sine
sign
wave.
master KGE at the end. I think that's the last couple letters.
Oh, okay. Oh, Generac L4002 8-horse Briggs. That's an oldie, isn't it?
Oldie, yes, the flathead.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, well, that's Rich. He goes to all the auctions up there in Michigan. He's up in
Nice.
Dundee, Michigan.
Dundee, huh? Which part of the thumb is that? I'm not too familiar with Michigan.
Where are you, Rich? How close are you to what? He told me one time how close he was to something.
Yeah,
Beautiful area, though. Real nice area.
like Hudson, Michigan. I know where Ypsilanti.
I did a lot of work. I did Bay City. I did some machines out there. Saginaw. I did machines out there. We did a big bunch of machines for American Axle Company in Detroit. That was fun.
Probably Easy Lube, what's it's called? It's like Easy Axle. There's a company out there, Detroit Axles, that makes those.
Nikki, hold on. Let me zoom in. I'll show you. Hold on. This one is just, if you look up on Amazon, Nikki, just tack hour meter. They're like 10 pounds. They're cheap.
Yeah, they're very inexpensive.
Yeah, a little wire on it, you wrap around the spark plug, done. I mean, or the wire, the coil lead, or HT lead, as you guys say. And yeah, they're very accurate. They work good. Plus, I like the hour meter feature too.
Yes.
Nice.
The only thing is that they're sealed and they have a battery inside.
Yeah, they don't last forever. Yeah.
They'll last forever, and I think they're actually, the inductance will actually charge it, I believe, but
cool.
You can't reset them or anything like that.
Yeah.
Once you get to a certain, you can't like roll it back. Like, for example, here's an older. Well, you probably can't see it with the light.
Senda, or is that a Hobbs? What is that?
This is a quartz. Well, SYS. I got it cheap off of Amazon.
Oh, is that the one you did the video where you had to replace one?
Yeah, this is the new one. I actually overdid it. I got 75.9 hours. The old one said 71 hours, but give or take 72. So I have to just put this back in, but it runs on 12 volts. It runs off the battery charge windings. I just got to put that in the generator.
What's a couple hours between friends, man?
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Let's see who else we got here. Henry, everyone's sitting here. Oh, here's Rob. What do you got, Rob? The IG 2000.
Yep.
But it's weird. Now, you guys over in UK, some of you say you use 60, some say you use 50. I mean, is it dual hertz over there? Dual frequency? I mean, what do they use over there?
I guess it depends on the country.
Yeah, Rob, Rich is near Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo, okay. All right, I got an idea. Very cool.
He's 15 miles south of Ypsilanti. Okay.
I had a customer out there that did a lot of auto parts for Ford Motor Company. They were a reseller. I think they closed down. Just after all those factories closed down, it was very tough for them to survive.
Most of them did.
Yeah.
Boss is saying 50 hertz in the UK. Ronnie's saying all 50 hertz. So, hey, there's cousin Brucey from Mexico. Hello, Bruce.
He's in Mexico, so sipping margaritas.
3 months worth. Yeah, he's gonna have a good old time.
Good for him. Good for him.
50, 60 hertz is TV tech. Oh boy. So anyone have any questions? Definitely. I was telling Jim before, Gary, what would be the advantage if I bought a generator or had a generator that had that throttle down feature? You were saying 48 hertz or something like that when it throttled down. And I'm like, why would I want something in my house that's running to have less voltage or less frequency? And Jim's like, mainly
never use it.
Construction sites use
so that idle feature is oftentimes confused. So a lot of these portable generators are sold as construction site generators, and the idle down feature is a fuel saving feature, but it should never be used if you're going to connect that generator to your house via a transfer switch. Most of your digital stuff won't mind, because most of the power supplies that you get these days,
capacitors and stuff, so they store it.
Yeah, so these are your typical class switch mode class D power supplies, your typical stuff, right? Yep. And these, it even says here you can do 50, 60 hertz from 100 volts to 240 volts. And they won't really care that much, but on some of your more sensitive electronics, that may not, like your refrigerator, for example. Not gonna, if it's designed for 60 hertz, it's not gonna really like that if it goes down to 50 hertz, but it's not gonna stay down at that low idle anyway, because as soon as it senses a load greater than an amp, it's gonna jump back up, but you don't want to have it on. That's why the inverters are the more the superior type of generator, because they're not tied to that speed. They're having the MOSFETs do the 60 hertz sine wave.
I had another question. I'm trying to think now. Oh, we're talking about depotting and stuff like that the other day. Now, you've got your setup, you said, is around like a G note for the setup between the soldering, desoldering, heat gun. That little one with the little tube on it, is that a special heat gun to do depotting, or
That
what?
yeah, that is what is called a SMD, or a surface mount device hot air rework station. And
Oh,
that's all it basically is. It's basically a heat gun, but you can precisely control the
mm,
temperature and the airflow uh, in the system. And it also has one of those vacuum pens. So if you're grabbing a small component, you just
mhm,
put your finger over the hole, and it
yeah,
will has the suction cup uh, to place
mm,
the component onto the board there. So it's great to have, but you
cool,
don't really. It's great to have for depotting, but you have to go
mhm,
very carefully because some of these epoxy resins, like some of the older, like I was working on one before. Well, I don't know how well you guys can see that.
yeah, you can see the components.
Yeah,
Now that was potted before?
that was potted, so that just comes out, and then I've already taken on. I usually start with the bottom first because
Mhm,
there's only like 8 components on this thing, and it retails for about $75.
mhm,
But the kicker is that in order to get to the little ones on the top here,
mhm,
uh, yeah, it's you got to go very easy, and then the epoxy resin gets brittle, and you just pick it away with a
mhm,
small screwdriver or a pocket knife. It's
mhm,
time consuming, but
yeah.
that's the way you fix them.
Now, I was thinking about, I have this, where the heck is it? Oh, here it is. The safety switch. This thing here, which is going to drive me crazy. Simplicity Tractor has this potted. It's only 5 wires. Okay,
Yep.
there's the potting that's got the plug on it. Okay, and
Mhm.
a jump or whatever. This thing from Simplicity Briggs is $250. Okay.
Expensive.
Now, my question is, if you were to look at the wiring diagram and saw the inputs, all it is, you got the hydro lever, you got the PTO switch, you have the seat switch.
Yep.
That's basically it. It's like, what the heck? Is this more of a timing delay module, or like an if then and da da da? I mean, it can't be that
Can't
difficult.
be that. No, it can't be that complex. I
Yeah.
mean,
But
look,
$250.
it's well, even the system control boards that you see on a lot of these older Generacs. I have a pile of them here. I'm working on them for a gentleman up in Vermont, I believe. I'm still waiting on parts because there's a component shortage for a lot of them. Like this board right here.
Mhm.
This is probably the board that you see on the older Generacs all the
Is
time.
that the power supply one, or which one is that?
No, this is what they call the system control board. This does a couple things. It does the voltage regulation,
Mhm.
it does the low oil sensing, and it also does the low idle the low idle.
Mhm.
You
Is
turn
that
on
the one you said has like 6, 7, 8 versions depending on the letter or whatever?
That's right.
Okay.
You can have this is revision type R, or
Okay.
I'm sorry, revision R, and the last one they made was revision U before they went to the surface mount devices. So
Okay.
there was a revision, I believe it was revision G,
Mhm.
that had the flickering lights problem, and it
Mm.
was because of a diode change.
Mhm.
So a lot of times, if I get them
Mhm.
and I'm rebuilding them,
Yep.
I don't even bother trying to fix, that particular revision. I just remove the components and bring it up to the schematic of revision U because that's the components that are available in today's market.
But that's easy enough because they're not potted, right? Those are just boards.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
right there. I mean, they have a coating there to prevent the corrosion and whatnot,
Mhm.
but that's easy enough to scrape off, and then you use satin spray paint to reseal them.
Oh, okay. I never knew that. Interesting. Let's see. I know Bulu Ket down there in Louisiana. He wanted to come up. Hopefully, he can come up. He had some questions about diodes and Wheatstone bridges and rectifiers and all that stuff. So I'm hoping he joins us. But all I know is when people have a Briggs engine and they have that big swollen wire there with a diodes in there, and they don't know what it is, and they're like, "Oh, it must be expanded wire from corrosion." I'm like, "No, that's the diode."
Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah.
battery's not charging. Yeah, well, that's why. So crazy. What's Bruce saying here? Oh, that's Jim. Playa del Carmen. Ooh, that sounds interesting, Jim.
Just trying to see.
Business or vacation, Jim? That sounds interesting. Oh man. So are you busy right now, Gary, as far as that type of work or what?
No, not really. Other than this guy's boards that I have now, and a lot of the boards I have for my own I keep for my own stock as spares, because you
Mhm.
never know when you might need them. It's really, I'm just getting. I took a bit of a break when over the holidays. I had a bunch of snow blowers to come in. I was actually doing some lawnmowers actually, but the last couple weeks we've actually gotten some snow, so now everyone's changing their appointments to, oh, can you work on my snowblower?
Mhm. Is there a what? Oh, he's trying to say schematics, maybe? Schematic?
Schematic, yeah, maybe a
Schematic?
schematic.
Okay.
Yeah, schematic.
Wiring diagrams. How's that?
Yeah, so a wiring diagram schematic, yeah,
Really fancy
those
stuff.
boards do not have them. I actually made it myself with the help of another person on Smokestack many years ago. He helped me draw it out with one of the revisions, but then all the subsequent revisions, I've had to make my notes on it to make sure that I knew what I was looking at.
I just went on back on there today and re-registered. I haven't been on there in years. I used to go on for hit and miss engines when I used to play with
Yeah,
those, but I never. There's a huge, generator and electrical section on there.
yeah. I mean, Harry down in Florida
Mhm.
runs the site, and he's
Yeah, Harry
always been.
Matthews. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Mhm.
I only chatted with him a couple times, but he was a very good. Treated me fair as far as I'm a subscriber on there. I pay once
Mhm.
a year. There's a lot of my posts up there where a lot of people get the information for the
Mhm.
generators. So, but it really hasn't been that busy with the types of generator uh, portable ones that I've been working with, because a lot of the information is already on there.
Mhm. Wayne from Canada, you're fueling them with the pre-engineered non-ethanol fuel, which I wish we had. So the ethanol
Good.
is
Yeah,
killing everything.
I do that too. It's
Mhm.
you buy it in bulk, and it's
Mhm.
I mean, even with the generators, depending on, most of the times I won't see generators until like right before a storm or after a storm. And I tell people, it's like, run them, if you have 5, 6 gallons of pump gas in there, I mean,
Mhm.
if it's still good fuel, why waste it? Either take it out, put it in the lawnmower,
Mhm.
or if they tell me, no, we're going to store it,
Mhm.
I'll drain the fuel out, I'll get rid of it for, a fee. And then
Sure.
I'll put maybe a gallon of that canned stuff in there, and that'll be the end of that. And at
Mhm.
least they know that it'll start right up.
Mhm. Wayne, it shouldn't matter. I mean, as long as it's, electricity is electricity, hertz is hertz, and volts is volts, and
It may lose
it
its
may not
residual
run good if it
magnetism
sits for
though.
a long time, but the output should still be the. I mean, do you see anything with anything electrically getting corroded or oxidized over time from storage causing a problem here?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, depending on where it's stored. I mean, you store it in the garage, and if it's an insulated garage, then it's the humidity up in and it gets dry during the winter. 25-30% humidity, and then during the summer, it's pretty much 100% humidity. It's a swampy. It's going to condense onto the metal, and yeah, it will eventually corrode, but it's going to be far better in your garage versus your shed, for example.
Mhm.
I mean, it's inevitability.
But would that humidity though do something to the rotor and stator affecting your output, or?
No, not if anything, if it does, the humidity would probably affect uh, the iron that's around that makes the stator. The
Mhm.
wires are coated in a
Oh, that's
type
right.
of
Yeah.
resin to insulate it basically. So
Okay.
that shouldn't have a problem. I mean, the good stators anyway. Some of
Yeah.
the cheaper China ones, they don't even. What you're supposed to do with the stators is after you put the windings in and you have the resin on the wires, you
Mhm.
dip it in another layer of resin and bake it in an oven for like 350 degrees or whatever the temperature is, so
Mm.
that it's got further protection from the moisture. I
Mhm.
see James all the time. He'll power wash the stators, and I'm sure people would be like, "Oh, you're not supposed to mix water and electricity." Well, if you dry it out properly, and it's not gonna,
Mm.
as long as there's no insulation breakdown, you shouldn't have a
Yeah.
problem.
You just made a quick comment before. Let me develop it. When you're shutting off a generator,
Yep,
load or no load?
no load,
Okay.
absolutely no
A
load.
lot of people don't realize that. And what causes what happens if you have your hair dryer on and you shut your generator off?
Well, that's why these things blow. So right here,
Hold on, Randy.
What burns them up? So this is an AVR, or automatic voltage regulator.
Hmm.
You have what's called a silicon controlled rectifier that's on this heat sink, and
Hmm.
then right here, it's basically taking your AC voltage incoming on these spade connectors, right? And I'm sorry, I'm trying
Hmm.
to look past the
Yeah,
camera
got it.
here.
Yeah.
But so this is converting AC volts to DC volts, and then based on what you're getting for what's called the snubber feedback, it's controlling this silicon controlled rectifier to output how much current is going to that rotor. If you have something plugged in and this is running, if you shut it down, the speed's going to obviously going to start to come down. This is going to try like hell to keep the voltage up to wherever you set it
Oh, so
to.
you're gonna burn
This
it
is
out.
going to output full voltage, and as the voltage goes down,
Yep.
but you're trying to power something, the current is going up, so this thing
And that's
overheats.
heat and that's damage. Yeah. Okay.
Correct. So these are only rated for your rotor is only this one at least is rated up to 6 amps.
Yep. Yep.
6 amps.
That's
That's it.
not much. Yeah.
That's not much, but then you get 30 amps at 240 volts for a 7,000 watt, for example. But that's the reason why these things burn out. So never shut it down with the load. Always let unplug everything, let it run unloaded for a few minutes so that it can cool off. There's a fan inside that's on the rotor to cool off the windings, because the windings do get warm. Run it for like maybe a minute or two after you unplugged it, then shut it down.
Randy's saying a small engine, Craftsman M270 159cc. Is it normal for it to smoke when the engine is restarted when warm and no smoke when cold?
What color is the smoke?
Yeah,
that's a loaded question.
What is an M270 though? What is that? Is that a tractor or something? What is that?
Oh, not
159
sure.
is a small engine, so unless it's a mower, it's got to be a mower then.
What was the model number? M270.
That may be one of the new like Lowe's red mowers or something that they sell since MTD bought them, or Stanley. I think
sure.
they signify mower, but 159 is a tiny engine, so it sounds like like a little Toro engine. Like
yeah. It looks like a small engine. An M. Oh, so I'm looking it up here. It's a push mower. It's a little 20-inch push mower.
Nice.
Okay. So
smoke when it's restarted. The only thing I've seen is if you try and choke it when it's warm, you'll get a little puff of smoke out.
Yeah.
Or if you shut it off, sometimes if the valve guides are going a little bit, it may suck some oil in there and a little blow off when you start it. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it as long as it runs good and you're not using tons of oil. I wouldn't worry about it.
Correct. Yeah, that's what
engines are designed to use oil. They are.
Yeah.
So
those are throwaway engines.
Oh, absolutely. Here we go. Wayne again. Will no, we already answered that one. Hold on. Yep. And then the question about what about the let me know if I'm saying this right. Let me see. When we re-excite the generator after it's been sitting a while, we re-excite it with a drill or whatever. What are we actually doing? What are those parts called that we're re-exciting and all that?
We're there. So the rotor that spins, so the rotor is the part that spins, and the stator is the donut shaped outside portion with all the windings. When you take the drill and you turn the chuck one way or another, it sends an AC voltage and current back through the wire, and that's going to go into the stator. But what's going to happen is the spinning rotor is what we're trying to get to. We want to get that rotor, which is essentially a spinning electromagnet. It has to have what's called some residual magnetism. If it doesn't have any magnetism, then the feedback loop that's created between the exciter windings and the rotor with the AVR is not going to be able to turn on and won't be able to build up voltage. And that instantaneous kick, that's what they call flashing the field.
Yeah, flash. That's right. That's what I meant to say. But how would it lose the magnetism though? Is that if someone leaves something plugged into it, it'll drain out, or
correct? The magnetic field will collapse.
Okay, so like you said before, if you're not going to use it, unplug everything, let it idle down, cool off, because it can leach back out into the devices, whatever, and lose the magnetism, so it won't be excited when you turn it on.
Yeah, and a lot of times, and it depends on the generator. So, like most portable generators, they'll try to negate some of that. There's permanent magnets that are resined inside there, so that there's always a north and south pole, basically, and that usually prevents the loss of magnetism, residual magnetism. But some rotors may not even have that, so that's why you're having to go and reflash the field.
Yeah, James kind of got a washed generator that won't make power. If we get the color of smoke, we can tell you if it's white or blue. We'll tell you what it is.
If it's bluish white smoke, that's bluish smoke is burning oil. Black smoke is running rich, burning too much fuel. If it's just white smoke, it could just be that it's burning off. It could be gasoline in the too much gasoline again in the combustion chamber, or it could be gasoline inside the crankcase. I've seen that happen.
Oh, here's something crazy. A question from Jim.
Can a generator lose magnetism? I don't think. No, I don't. I don't think so. No, I mean, you're probably
No, he's talking if you have a drill and it's in the on position, or something that's in the on position, and then you go to start it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it could. It's possible. I mean, what you're basically doing is now it's having to not only self-excite itself when it first starts up, but then it also has to power a load that's connected to it. It's possible for it to lose the magnetism, and it also puts the stress out on the components. So that's not something I would recommend.
Yeah, I tell you, I guarantee you, dealers are not telling people any of this stuff when they buy a generator.
No, they figured that the generator is only going to run 10, maybe 15 hours, sit for 5, 6 years, and then get corroded, and then people are going to throw it out. Or I've seen we had that microburst happen. I don't know. You're just south of me, and we live up on top of the hill, just past Waterbury, and we got this blast of wind, probably like 70-mile-an-hour winds, and so many people had their generators out to keep power going, but they put too much load on it. They blew them up, and then they're like, well, the cost of fixing it is going to be more than the cost of what they paid for it new. So it goes to the scrapyard.
Getting back to my issue here with this stupid module for the safeties.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on what really could be in here?
If you have the part number, I can try to look it up and see how it's hooked up in a schematic. But I mean,
I probably have the schematic. Hold on.
It probably is not that. There's not that much in there, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, there really isn't.
It's not like it should. It's not like it has a microcontroller or anything like that. If it did, then that's likely where the cost is coming from. But even that system control board, brand new when they were available. Actually, I think they're another company is still manufacturing them now, but they're like over $230.
Yeah, the number. I got the number. It's a Simplicity, which is Briggs, a 1707755. Rev G, made in 1998. And then underneath it, I don't know if this means anything. It says MEC, then space M587 revision G.
It's probably just the
vendor,
just the code, the vendor code, and the time that it was made.
Yeah, but 1707755, they're going for almost $250. It's crazy.
I found one. It's an interlock module, and I found one on eBay for $160 plus $4 shipping.
Yeah,
but I mean that's still spicy.
Oh yeah, this guy, all he uses it for is snow plowing. So I said to him, I'll rig it up so that you can't start it with the hydro engaged, so it's in neutral. And so that it's just for safety. He does not use it with a deck. So I don't have to worry about a kid getting chopped up. It's more that you don't want it to lurch forward when you're starting it. So to me, that's more of the neutral safety and the seat switch. So I was just going to put those in series so that they have to be in the center position before the solenoid will get juice. That's all I was going to do.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, business insurance wise, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd have to go and replace the part.
But, oh, definitely. Yeah. But like I said, this is my neighbor, and
you're just doing it as a favor.
I'll deny it in court,
Yeah, that's it's tough. It's it's not it's not easy when you have to follow the book. A lot of times, most small engine shops that I've seen, they have limited understanding of the generator side of it. They can work on the gas engine side, but when it comes to the electrical side, they are, unless they're specifically trained in it, it's not, or they watch James Condon's channel there. They they're not really knowledgeable on how everything's hooked up unless they can just follow the schematic.
Here's another question. Can you explain kilovolt amps? Well, I would say kilowatt, but go ahead. You can explain that, Gary. What's a kVA?
My understanding is just as rough as yours. Voltage amps is more important than the amperage and the voltage separately. You see a lot of inverters that are rated in voltage amps rather than the amount of watts. It has something to do, and again, I'm not really that versed in it. It has something to do with reactive power versus real power. So reactive power, it's basically, if I can explain this correctly without
I read an article on it the other day, and I still
sounds
don't
foolish.
understand it.
It's basically it's power that's not doing any real work. It's just like say it's inside the transformer, but it's not doing anything.
Isn't it the more of the way it's rated? And when you're looking at that number, is it you're comparing that to say watts or
Yeah,
kilowatts? Yeah.
it has to do with inductive load. So like an
Okay.
electric motor, for example. If you have a resistive load like a heater, yeah. So what James is saying, power factor correction. It's everything that we're talking about there is all interrelated. So kilovoltage amps is important, is an important metric for, like, say, an electric motor. You're going to have current that's lagging and then leading when the motor's first starting up, and then once the motor reaches speed, then there's magnetism inside the coils, but only a certain portion of it is doing actual work spinning that motor. I think there was a good analogy on the internet somewhere where they did it with a beer stein, where it's like, here's reactive power, here's real power, and the real power is the beer, and then the reactive power is the foam of the beer.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious though, when you have the kVA though, what are you looking for, anything in particular in a kVA rating versus something that's rated in kilowatt? I
I
mean,
think it's more we're kind of spoiled here in the United States. I think wattage makes more sense, but
mhm,
think about what we use the generator for. We're going to run a generator to keep the refrigerators and the freezers going, and then run the furnace. Everything that I just mentioned has an electric motor in it, and it probably would make more sense to have it rated in kilovolt amps, but most people don't understand it. So
mm,
they understand wattage, and they figure that, okay, well, it's going to take, say, 2 to 3 times the amount of wattage to start the refrigerator than it
mhm,
does to run it. And that's where you have to kind of size your generator, oversize it for 2 to 3 times the wattage that you need to have for
mhm.
that surge
Yep.
surge wattage, in order to make sure that you have enough power to run everything that you want.
Yep. Yeah, I've got some friends that try and use it with their central air. No, it'll
No,
never,
I
it'll
had
never
someone
start.
try it with a
It'll
5,500
never start the
watt.
compressor. Nope.
Yeah, they tried it with they tried, like, "Oh, yeah, it runs," and because the guy had an interlock, and
Mhm,
he had a very nice Honda 5,500 watt, and
mhm.
he's like, "Oh,
Oh,
yeah, it starts right up," but he had a 4-ton, and he has a pretty big house. He had a
yeah. Mhm.
4-ton air system, and
Yep.
he's like, "Yeah, well, the air handler was moving the air, but it was blowing hot air," and I says, "Yeah, there's no way that a little 5,500 watt is gonna start it."
Yeah.
You do have, like, the soft start capacitor kits, and they
Yep.
have units that will gradually ramp up the current so
Yeah.
that you don't take up the capacity of your generator.
Yep.
But I've seen 8,000 and 9,000 watt generators run a 3.5 ton central air system, but that machine is running extremely hard to
Mm,
keep it going.
yeah.
Those things take about 24, 28 amps of current at 240 volts, most of them,
Mhm.
to run. That's
Yeah.
pretty much the max for a 7 to 9,000 watt generator.
Yeah, we've installed a lot of VFDs with the soft starts on a lot of our cooling fans at work just for that thing. They kept kicking off.
They have to, yeah. Well, because they can't take the instantaneous current.
Yep.
And this, like I said, the soft ramping quality of those devices makes it perfect, so you don't overload. But
Mm.
those are also very expensive devices. Not most of the time you just have a soft start,
Yeah,
what's called a motor start capacitor. It's on
mhm.
pretty much every single central air outside unit. I got to replace mine, actually.
Yep.
Could be anywhere 45, 55
Yep.
microfarads. And there's a difference between a start capacitor and then a
And a
run
run
capacitor.
capacitor. Oh no, just like when people buy the start capacitors figuring they're going to work in their generator and then it doesn't.
They're usually oil filled or filled up with a different substrate that is designed to handle the heat. The start capacitors have like a paste in there,
Mhm.
and eventually, if you run them too long, it's like that, they're just going to heat up and blow up.
Mm, interesting. Let's see who's in there. Hello, Parky. Everyone's saying hello again. Oh, one of our viewers, who was it? Randy Turboli had a question. He has a turntable that
Ah,
he says his 45 RPM is a little fast. Now, in my mind, what keeps it running? Is it capacitors? What keeps it at a constant voltage or constant amperage to keep the turntable at constant speed?
That's another loaded question. It depends on the the turntable. Some
Mm,
of them have DC motors, and others run on an AC motor, which it's going to be directly related to how much voltage is coming in, and you might have a dial where you can adjust it.
mhm.
Later on, the my understanding is that they went to DC motors that have a speed controller. It runs that I remember the old Technic
Oh yeah. Yep.
turntables that had the infrared, and it would send
Mm,
that pulse signal back to a speed controller to make sure that it was preset for that speed.
mm.
So either 33 and the third, or the 45 records, or even the old 78s.
Yep. I need one, actually a start capacitor for my 51 Seaberg.
Seaberg, yes,
Yeah.
yes, we chatted about that last time.
Because right now when I'm listening to the crew cuts playing Shaboom, it's like shaboom, shaboom. It's a little bit slow.
A little bit so, yeah.
Yeah.
The
It's a
Seabergs have
big
that
cap
auto
too. It's the
speed
whole
unit.
top of the mechanism is a big capacitor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're usually paper. It's a paper
yeah, it
capacitor. You have
is.
to
Yeah.
replace them after so long.
I recapped the amp, the MR1A. I did all that,
Mm,
but I never changed the cap on top of the mech.
yeah, no, that's
And
and
that's what determines the speed. Yeah.
right. Yeah, and those caps they're pretty big. They're
Mm.
and not cheap either.
Well, this thing's like a soda can. Yeah.
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 And you also got to be careful when you take them out, because even
Oh,
if
you
you
got to discharge them first.
you got to discharge them first. I've seen capacitors you may not have plugged that jukebox
Oh,
in for a decade, and it's
yeah.
still going to have
Oh,
that
yeah.
built up charge. That could hurt you.
I learned
Also
the
tell
hard
you.
way when I bought my first one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Which one were you saying we were looking for? An AD160?
The
Or what was
AQ 160. It's the
it?
artist of the
AQ160.
week. That's some
Okay.
sentimental
Yeah.
value for
Oh, I
that one,
remember
because
those.
I
Yeah.
grew up with that as a kid with my parents,
Yeah.
and we had Halloween parties and all
Mhm.
kinds of stuff. It had the music in there.
Yep.
But
I remember that artist of the
someday I like to own it again. But I know that those tend to go for brand new, or at least restored anyway, typically around 2,500, 2,800.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
actually not bad for that.
it's not bad for that.
The
No, I
one I
mean,
have here, this B restored now gets about 6,500.
yeah, it's just I'm not in a position to be able to own one just yet.
Mm,
So I hope to. My wife wants that 1050 that you and I were discussing, the one
mm.
with the bubbles on it.
Oh yeah, well I tell you, get the OMT, the One More Time one. It's got real bubble tubes, but it's CDs, so you
Yep.
don't have to worry about it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but if Randy Torboli is there, we need to know what your turntable is. Is it AC, DC? What is it?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the model is. I know that
Mm,
y- there's so many variables when it comes to that.
mm.
I know some of them were belt drives, some of them were actually
Mhm.
directly driven by the motor.
Yep.
Belt drives tend to have that warbly, because the belt is stretching out if
Mm.
it's under load. So that's why the direct drives were a superior design, but obviously more expensive.
Chris, how many ton is your AC? I'm curious. I mean, I have a 3-ton unit out in
Yeah, I got a
Mellow,
3-ton myself.
yeah, which is 36,000 BTU.
Yep, big one. Yeah, on a
Yeah.
double pull 30 amp.
Yeah, for me with a little 1,000 square foot home, but that's beside the point.
You can have a large unit on the outside. It's how big is the coils inside your
Yeah,
air handler.
yeah. Well, a friend of mine, my best friend actually is an AC guy. He said to me, he said, technically when it's 100 degrees out, the thing should be running 24 hours a day.
Right.
So everyone thinks bigger is better. James.
Yeah, you can Tim Allen that stuff all day. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you though, I think I'm on borrowed time though, because we put ours in when my first kid was born. So it's 28 years old.
Yeah, that's actually quite a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm changing out the start capacitor just for Murphy's Law's sake. The house that my wife and I are in now are built in 2004, I want to say, and they were all built around the whole neighborhood was built around the same time. So
Mhm.
2004. Yeah, I can only imagine how much time I have left on the central air outside. We already had to change the electric hot water heater. We were discussing that a while on the last
Did
one
you
there.
check the Farad rating of the cap, or why are you changing it? What led you to say you want to change it? The
just
start.
for the sake just for the sake of that. You know what? I'd rather a lot of people here in my neighborhood, because the same company built all the houses, and they used the same basically the same systems with a couple exceptions, of course. And we had a couple neighbors, they had problems with their central air this past summer, and they're like, oh, it's making all this buzzing sounds, and it's not turning on.
Oh, it's the motor trying to turn from
The motor trying to turn. But the
Yeah.
thing is, when you hear that buzzing, that's energizing the start winding. There's a start winding and there's a run winding.
Yeah, so you're gonna
If
melt
you run that start winding too long, it's going to overheat and that's going to
Yeah.
burn itself out. So that's likely because of that dried up capacitor.
Okay.
So
But
I'm just gonna change
if
it up.
I went and checked mine now with my capacitor meter, would I get a low or high reading? What would it be if it was starting to fail?
I mean, it would start to be less, I think,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
everything is also temperature dependent too. I mean, if during in the dead of summer, if you're 85, 95 degrees out and high humidity,
Yeah.
that cap may register higher, but the voltage may start to sag quite a bit. When you start seeing your lights in your house start to really dim when it first starts up,
Yeah.
that's usually an indication that it's taking more power to start up than it
Well,
should.
that's what it's doing.
Yeah. Well, time to change it.
Definitely. Really every time. But actually, though, Gary, since new, though, even since new with a brand new 200 amp service in my house, every time that central air compressor kicks on, my dining room light do for a second. So
Yeah, I mean, it's just an instantaneous current. I mean,
yeah.
it should it should at least have 10 gauge at least 10 gauge wire on that. I've seen people, even depending on how far away it is, my electrical panel's right next to it. It's like within 10 feet. So I can imagine that 10 gauge wire should be good. Or if it's on the other side of the house, you probably would need to go 8 gauge just to combat the voltage drop.
Let's see. James up here. Jim is driving home, I believe.
Oh, he's driving home. Oh,
He
okay.
might join, but I don't want him to get in an accident. So.
No.
Eyes on the road, Jim. Let's see.
I was a little jealous last night. You had you stopped at Duchess and grabbed a hot dog when we were at
2 hot
Brownsville.
dogs.
Like,
Two
I'm
with the
like,
works.
I wanted a hot dog. I haven't.
Oh.
Duchess, they don't have anymore. There used to be one in Naugatuck, but I don't think that's open anymore.
I've got one literally 5
You're out to
miles north of
25.
me in Monroe. I got one 5 miles west of me in Shelton. So
Yep.
there's a few of them around. And
That's
what's
my
funny?
hometown.
They're night and day. One of them has the crappiest rolls. The other one has great rolls. The other one has crappy egg sandwiches. The other one has perfect egg sandwiches.
Yeah, no, that's
So,
my hometown is Shelton.
yeah, I mean they're all owned by the Greeks, so I don't know what they're doing. But oh, you grew up in Shelton? Whereabouts in Shelton? What part?
Oh, the White Hills section.
Oh, okay, absolutely. That's where you got the Oronoke Bakery right there. We got all the pies now.
Oh, that's still there. Huh, I haven't been to Shelton in a long time.
Oh yeah. No, I got friends that live up that way off. Well, then you got the John Deere dealer. Well, it used to be. He's not there anymore, but
Yeah.
right up the hill. Let's see. Yeah, Jim's driving home. Used to buy a card. Oh yeah, I remember that. The strobe card or whatever it was. That little remember that card? Or Gary, you're probably too young. They used to get a cardboard card that you'd put on the turntable to act like a strobe so you could time it.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember my buddy bought a Techniques belt driven and it had all the lines on the side, for that, and a strobe. And you actually would turn the strobe on and blink it to get the right RPM. But it had a pot on it though, where you could actually adjust
it, do the fine adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, vinyl, I'll always love vinyl. I mean, I think actually vinyl outsold CDs for the first time since the 1980s this past year. I was reading that article somewhere, but
I know Duchess should sponsor me because I eat there all the time. They just have good food and it's fresh. It's made to order every time you go. Let's see, vinyl records. I tell you, Simone just went to a vinyl store the other day, hooked on classics. She bought some vinyl from I think it was from the 70s. But they say vinyl is final. I love vinyl.
That it is, but it's just very difficult to source it. How many of those companies have actually survived? I mean, to me, I'm surprised that people still get CDs these days.
Oh, there's Simone. Yeah, I tell you, it sounds so different though too when you're listening to a real LP. I had a friend of mine had a TEAC brand, TEAC, reel to reel, and we were listening to that. We were listening to Beatles on the reel to reel. Oh my God,
wow.
It just weird sound,
Yeah, my father-in-law, he has quite a vinyl collection. He's given it to his son, but we were going through them the other day, and I'm like, wow, and they're all in like good shape, like well preserved, like well taken care of, and they probably weren't really played that often. I mean, you have a finite amount of playability on those records, but they were all in great shape.
Just like on my Seaberg, the coveted red cartridge. If you could find the red cartridge, you know.
Yeah, new old stock, very expensive.
Oh yeah. Let's see, car radio. Oh yeah, I listen to. I like radio. I know. Terrestrial radio. I still like it.
Who listens to radio anymore?
I do. I actually do sometimes, but mostly like news and stuff. You know, for the weather.
News.
For the weather.
News is so depressing these days. It's the best thing that you can do.
I listen for traffic and weather every 10 minutes, and I shut it off.
Yeah, exactly. No, I haven't. I have a I got the Bluetooth and everything.
Oh, there's Randy.
Oh yeah.
All right, Randy. What is your turntable? AC, DC? What is it? Let's see. Tell us what your turntable is, Randy, so we can try and figure out why it's running too fast or too slow. I'll put your comment up when you post it, Randy. Let's see. Yeah, I like radio. It's always there. I remember when I was probably a teenager, my first crystal radio, and I'm like, I'm listening to Canada. I thought I was freaking out. Like,
I had one when I was a kid. I built one of those.
Well, how about the skip you used to get, like on CBs? You'd get the skip. You'd be listening to Moscow. You know,
Moscow.
Yeah,
that's funny.
You used to listen to BBC. You used to be listening all over the world because you had the skip, they called it, where it skipped off the atmosphere.
Yep.
Different frequencies. Yeah, you can't. I don't know. Is my wife? No, everything's digital now.
Yeah, I can't even get a CD player. That's right.
Nope. My wife just got a new Honda last month, and it's Apple Play. So he's like, "Do you have an iPhone?" We're like, "Yeah, it's great. You're done. You're good." He said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You don't need navigation. You don't need a CD player. Use your phone." I'm like, "Oh, okay." It emulates your phone.
Yeah, the CarPlay is the Android analog to that. I mean, I got my car in 2017, and it was right before they actually supported Apple Play and CarPlay. I mean, Google Maps. That's all I need.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And get Google
AC
Maps and Bluetooth.
AC. So, all right, but Randy, is it too fast or too slow, Randy? What is it?
If you have the model number, we can try to look at it.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you got the make and model, Randy, that would help out. Hooked on Classic has a Sansui. Oh, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I'm going to see if I can find my
Sansui
USB cord here. I don't know where I put it. Give me 1 sec, guys.
Yep. Oh, you talk about tape decks, Ronnie. My buddy growing up, he actually had a 4-track. Before they had 8-track, they had 4-track, and he actually had the Beatles on 4-track in the little player that mounted in his boat. He had an actual boat that used to go on the ocean with, and it was a 4-track, and they're like half the size. It almost looks like a little piece of toast. It's a 4-track. It's pretty cool. Let's see. It was all right. I'll keep that up there when he comes back. Cool.
I think I know where I put it.
He says it's a ITVS 750. I don't know what that means.
That's probably the model number.
ITVS 750.
Oh, when in doubt, Google it. I mean,
imagine if we had this crap 30 years ago. Oh my God.
Yes, it's.
I remember going to the library to look at encyclopedias. You know, it's crazy. Oh yeah, tape decks are cool, especially when you buy an old car and there's old tapes in there. All right, Randy, we'll see if we can find something for you. Stella's got a question. All the buttons have become
Oh, okay. I see.
I was going to talk to you about a fluke. I have one that's dead, and I'm wondering, can you bring him back to life? The fuses are good, but the meter's dead.
You recommend keypad contact foil?
Only the power button works.
Huh. Well,
this is a 123. Is that an expensive meter?
I'm not too familiar. Flukes are usually can't be afforded by mere mortals. Let me see what that is. Oh, is that the scope one with the scope on it?
Yeah, we've got some pretty intricate flukes at work.
Yeah.
Hey, Tommy.
Well, if it's those little micro switches, yeah. If it's the Fluke 123 scope industrial scope meter, yeah.
Do you ever fix those, Scare?
I wish I could have one. I mean, I don't. I have a Klein. I use a Klein all the time. Didn't mean to rhyme, but it's an MS2 1000 for the model, and it works great. You know, for basic HVAC and electrical stuff. But the O scope is really what I want.
I'm wondering if how much was it, Gary? The 123, was it expensive?
It doesn't say on the site.
I wonder if it's worth spending $65 to try and fix it.
And obsoletance.
Oh
well, I mean, at one point, yeah. I mean, for $65, yeah. I mean, I'm seeing eBay, 325 used. Some of them are spending $600 and $14.99, but I don't know if those are just, you know, eBay is your best friend when it comes to those things. You know, depending on what the resale market is.
Yeah, it keeps everyone honest.
No, even to sell on eBay these days is very difficult with all the fees.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. It was Randy again. It was the first one that came out that had the ability to record from vinyl cassette. What do you mean, that turntable, Randy? It's a recordable turntable?
I believe I lost that cable. Oh well.
What's it for? Okay.
No, I have my. Well, you can't really see it. I was going to use that today, but
nice.
I need the USB connector to hook up my sub mixer. But I thought I had used it from recording last time, but I don't know if I ever did anything with it. Usually, what happens? It's my luck where if I'm not looking for something, I usually find it.
Yeah. Steve Small Engine just posted a super chat for me, $5 Canadian. Thank you. He wants to know your channel, Gary, your Bassguitarist1985. So.
Yeah, let me put that out there. I got to figure out how to change that URL. I mean, a lot of people know me as Bassguitarist1985 on the forums, but it's Xboxer1985. I wonder if I can change that, because that really, it's been bothering me since we've been doing these lives. I'm like, I probably should update it so it can be more consistent.
Thanks again, Steve. Appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, hey, look at this. The man, the myth, the legend. Boom.
Hello.
Hey.
Guess where I am?
Where are you?
He's at the Grand Central.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
You're good. Yeah, just waiting for my train. Thought I'd say hi real quick.
Hello.
We've never actually met in person, so hope you can hear me. It's a little loud in here.
Yeah, it's good. I can hear you.
Yeah, a little loud.
You gotta go downstairs and get a slice of pizza.
Yeah, the pizza is good over there.
Oh, okay. Straight at the bottom of the stairs, there's a pizza guy right there. It's the best. Best food court is in Grand Central. Do you go in with the train every day, Jim?
I do, yeah. I don't drive into the city. I would go nuts doing that.
That's right. You were saying you upload your videos on the train, I think, right? The way you're talking, you do editing and stuff on the train.
Yeah, I do all the editing for the most part on the train.
Cool. So that's where you get the time, because it's pretty time consuming to do the editing.
Yep. Jim, come on, turn around and show us the beggars, the prostitutes.
Yeah, I have to go outside for that.
Or go outside and get us a hot pretzel and some chestnuts.
Yeah, it's pretty normal in here today.
Yeah, how about the ceiling? They still got the constellations up there?
They do.
Oh, they're beautiful. I love that. Especially at night when they light it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grand Central is gorgeous. Yeah. Cool. How long of a ride, Jim? About an hour and a half?
Yeah, it's a little shorter when it's not a pandemic because they run express trains, but right now everything's pretty much a local. Yeah. They make lots of stops.
You look like the Frito Bandito.
I know. See, people never see me in my videos, and they still can't.
Oh. It's funny when they first started wearing masks. I'm like, who's robbing who? You know. How far do you work from the station, Jim? You got a long walk or cab ride?
Oh, you know, I don't want to give it away. I don't want any fans stalking me, but let's just say it's not very far. If you hang out in Grand Central, you're guaranteed to see me twice a day.
What's the bar next there? McSorley's or something? The one outside there? The Oak Bar. We always used to go there, right outside of Grand Central on the left.
Oh yeah, and then downstairs they got the Oyster Bar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
We used to go in there every winter to see the tree. We haven't done that in a few years.
Oh yes.
Ah.
Yeah. You gonna throw your link out, Gear, or did you already?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna update it here. I'm gonna probably just make it as Bassguitarist1985, but I was actually gonna. I don't know how often you can change it, but I was gonna ask James. There is, you know, what you have. That's your real name. That's your full name. How do you feel about that? With having it be public?
You still there, Gary? You broke up.
Yep. Can you hear us, Jim?
If he went downstairs, that's pretty much a dead zone.
I was going to say, yeah, the Wi-Fi down there is terrible. Yeah.
I think we lost him.
Yeah, unless he's on cellular. He'll be back, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But, let's see. But, yeah, Grand Central's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Anything outside of that, though, is dirty.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got another. Let's see. Yes. Klaus, thank you so much. Holy cow, 100 kroner, whatever that is. Thank you so much, Klaus. Klaus, your tapper, I'm just going to send it. I'm not going to combine it with anything else. I'm just going to bag it up and send it to you. Klaus wanted a back tapper where you could go into a spark plug hole, expand the mandrel, and tap from the back out. So I grabbed a couple of them. I'm going to send one to Denmark. You back, Jim?
I think so. I joined Wi-Fi. Am I back?
Oh, okay. No, Gary was asking a question about your channel name.
Yeah, I didn't hear the question, but
yeah, so I have to. I actually I've been, since we've been doing the lives, because this is actually like the first time I'm actually like, you know, face to face on my on the channel. But usually I'm behind the camera. I usually you know, kind of kept the that, how do you say it? Anonymity? I can't even talk today.
Anonymous.
Yeah, it's a anonymity.
Anonymity.
Yes, that word.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, you know, you're known by your screen name, right? Your handle. But then, you know, as I've done some of the generator boards and whatnot, and people pretty much know my first name at this point. Mm-hmm. But you put your full name out there, so that's pretty. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I signed up for my YouTube account 10 years ago.
Yep.
And it didn't matter at the time.
Yeah, and nobody's going to watch you, right?
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Now you're what, 45,000?
Almost 60.
Wow, holy cow.
Yeah.
When I met you, you were like 45, 50.
45, wow. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, let's just say I never set out to have a successful channel. Yeah. You know, I published a few videos, and I kept publishing videos, and then all of a sudden things went nuts. So,
yeah. I still say it's your voice, Jim.
It could be.
I agree. No, I think it's most definitely his voice, because you always have that calm, collected tone to.
I know. I'm ready to kill the customers and the equipment, and you're like, thanks for watching.
Yeah. Very calm, very collected, very like I could listen to you all day. I mean, I've been binge watching your videos.
Although you did it the other day, though, Gary. I was watching your video, and you're like, "Thanks for watching." I'm like,
I know. I caught myself doing that. Well, and you know, and it's also a call out to James, because he helped me fix that machine. He gave me the muffler to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've been waiting for that video. I didn't notice you posted it. Now I know what I'm going to watch on the way home today.
Yeah,
forget about editing.
And you know what? Your channel has also given me the confidence. I don't mind if I put out a 45-minute video now, because it's, and I guess some people have even said to me, is like, I try to be as concise as I can when I'm doing my videos, I mean, because I'm just, you know, doing it on my phone most of the time. That I'll put it into an app and just, you know, edit the clips together. But a lot of times I don't want to be showing all the work, because I figure there's a lot of videos out there now that have it.
Talk
And
about the big timers. Here's one right here. Martin Butler, Retro Restore. He's one of the biggest in the UK. We all love him in this family. Let's see. You have a looky. Uh-oh, what's he saying? You have a looky like a hangover? I don't know what that means.
if it's the movie, it's probably because of my glasses.
Yeah, the dead. Okay.
Yeah, it's the glasses.
A little bit. The guy who lost a tooth or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, a little bit. Martin, just hold on one second. Martin, the ornaments are on their way from the White House. So as soon as I get them, I will send the one to Sharon and I'll get you my address. But I want to wait until, those that don't know, I gave away a White House Sikorsky helicopter ornament on my Christmas tree. And Martin's wife said, oh, that's pretty cool. So I'm going to trade him for a t-shirt. So anyway, let's see who else we got here. Hello, Jordan. How are you?
Well,
there we go. We're back. Oh, where are you, Jim? Downstairs? Or are you in the tunnel? I think Jim's in the tunnel.
Yeah, I think we might have lost him there.
Yeah, he's walking out to the car, it looks like.
Well, I think that kind of answers my question. I mean, everyone kind of knows my first name at this point, but like everyone knows my screen name more so than my first name. So that I'm going to go and update it actually. So it's going to be, because it's telling you, it can't be changed or transferred to a different channel, which that's fine.
Yeah, but I've changed my name twice already in like 5 years, I think.
Yeah. So
I think you change it 5 times a year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and hey, that's perfectly fine. I don't know, where can I go to make a comment?
Are you on the right-hand side where it'll say on the total upper right, it'll say comments?
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if you,
Well, you may have to get into
but I gotta cut out.
channel.
Oh, I probably got to go on to the actual live first.
Yeah, to YouTube is easier if you do the pop-out chat.
I'll do that real
work
quick.
better than StreamYard.
Probably got to go on to the actual live first.
Yeah, see, now you're on YouTube.
Yeah. All right, so this is the new link. So now that should work.
Let's see. Oh, we lost Jim again. Jason saying hello, Kentucky Fried. Yep. Yeah, I changed mine to Mr. Mo-It-All.
My wife got a good laugh when she saw that, actually.
Yeah. Well, my kids, John Clem and my kids even, John had mentioned it. My kids actually got me a Christmas or birthday card that said that, Mr. Mo-It-All.
Mr. Mo-It-All.
Yeah. Well, because if you've been on any of the streams I've been on, I'm sort of like you want to know something? Ask Kenny. Ask Kenny. I try and be like an information guru. You know what I mean? I put it this way. I know enough about everything to be mischievous, but people, I try and steer them toward parts lists and drawings and schematics and stuff like that. So it's just what I like to do. So let's see.
Yeah, Ronnie, like I said, I don't even have an Xbox anymore. I have an old Xbox 360. I don't even know if it works down in the basement somewhere, but I haven't played that in years.
I'd rather play the 1970 Gottlieb home run, to be honest.
Yeah, if you could find that one, right?
Oh God, I'm waiting.
I just don't have time to play video games anymore. The only time if I do keep a subscription on my PlayStation, but that's only to play with my nephew. And he's 8 years old, and he knows more about these video games than I do, and I get my ass kicked every time.
Yeah. Oh, my son plays with people all over the world. But it's funny, you go back when my son was younger, it was all about Minecraft, which I thought was the stupidest pixelated crap. And I'm like, what are you doing with this? But they got into it. He would play all over the world with this stuff, and I'm like, but the graphics are terrible.
Yeah, and that was the whole idea behind it. It's I mean, we play Fortnite a lot. Now, Fortnite is, kind of a cesspool of different things, but it's addicting. You can play it for a long time. I used to play Call of Duty, all the different Call of Duty games, and I played in ladders. I would play for Microsoft points at the time, but that's kind of the reason why it was Xbox or 1985 for the longest time. But, it's just no one really knows. I mean, on my all the forum handles, I'm either bass player 1985 or Bassguitarist1985. I mean,
you got to show me a picture of that, what your son printed. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, that does sound pretty cool. The Sega Mega Drive. There you go.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
The Sega CD. There's a rarity.
I don't know. When we started in computers, my brother had a TRS-80 Radio Shack computer with a cassette drive back in 1970.
I'd play with the Commodore 64s. I
Hey,
think I'm
Brucey buddy, how are you? Did you miss anything? Yeah, about an hour and 23 minutes of serious chat.
Oh man, that's funny.
Bruce is enjoying the beach.
He's going up. He's really enjoying himself.
Oh yeah. Hey, if I could spend 3 months in Mexico on the beach, wow.
I certainly. I'm a homebody by nature, but you know,
hello, JP.
All for nice sunny weather.
Oh yeah. The console. Yeah, you know what though, Dick? My kids would kick my butt. I wouldn't. The last video games I really played, and I'm dating myself now, Defender, Asteroids, things like that. That we used to go to the arcade and play those games. But this newer stuff where it's like VR and Grand Theft Auto and all that.
My brother's got a VR headset and he loves it. He's playing the laser thing where the laser beats or something like that. I don't know, but he really, really enjoys that.
Yeah, my son had a friend come over one day and he had a cut on his hand. Unbeknownst to him, he goes on the VR and starts flailing around. My wife comes home. There's like blood all over the place. She's like, "What the hell's going on?" Well, he had a cut on his thumb,
murder scene,
flailing all over the place.
Oh man!
But I tell you, my kid, I thought a few times my kid was going to break his arm or something because you're flailing around. You don't know what you're going to hit. You can't see anything.
Oh no, that's the scary part about that stuff.
Let's see what we got here. Oh, what's that, James? Oh, a TI 99 4A. Yeah, now you're dating yourself. Sega and Atari. I used to love Atari. Randy, what do we got? James, I'm into HVAC, small engines, a 3-pin HVAC thermostat. I tell you, we do a lot of where I work, of course, since we make the helicopters and all that, we 3D print a lot of stuff. If I can't find something like a gear or something, I'll just call one of my friends who's in engineering and say, "Hey, I'm going to send you a model. Can you print it for me?" He's like, "Okay." So we make stuff work. Like, for example, we'll have a printer or something that prints out just charts of whatever, say an oven or whatever. Right. And you can't get the printer anymore because there's 32,000 gears in it, the racks of gears and stuff. So I'll grab one out of there. It's got 6 missing teeth. I send it over to someone. They scan it, model it. Boom. I have 6 of them the next morning, So I tell you, 3D printing has gotten, and for $400-500, you could buy your own and play at home with it,
Nice.
It's Staples. You go into Staples, $300. You buy a 3D printer.
I have it saved on my eBay wish list. There's this the regular Nintendo Entertainment System, and they had I remember in 1988, my parents got me they had the power pad, it had the zapper, it had the top front load console set up, and we had the Super Mario Brothers. Man, I played that so much when I was a kid, and then even my parents were playing. That to me is that, and then N64 was probably was a lot of fun too. But
go ahead, Simone.
Regular Nintendo was my favorite.
Yeah, Atari was mine with those stupid black joysticks.
I had an Atari 5200 for a time. Man, it's a big thing.
Oh yeah. Well, I tell you, I'm dating myself now. My parents actually had Pong and ColecoVision when you just had the tennis ball game.
My parents had the original arcade game Frogger. We've got that. Yep. They had that first before they got that AQ160. So they sold that. My parents sold that to get the AQ160.
I would say Frogger sounds like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah, and then I got my good friend. He's got an original Pac-Man, but he's got the JAMA board in it, so you can play all the different games. And he's got an original Centipede that he's currently restoring.
Oh wow! Centipede, was that before Millipede or after?
I think that was before.
I remember when they used to have those games in like those little benches or tables where you could sit next to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You do find them once in a while at flea markets and stuff, but
if you go down to Allentown, Pennsylvania, you get lucky if someone's selling it, but you got to go there early.
Well, we used to go years ago in Valley Forge, PA. They used to have the Philadelphia Game Room Show.
Okay.
We used to go there literally 1983, 4, 5, and 6 is when I was really into the jukeboxes, and it was great. I mean, you had, Silver Age, Golden Age jukeboxes, everything from, you know, when they first started with the 78s up until, you know, CD. I mean, CDs were just coming out back then, the early 80s. So it wasn't really much CDs, but I fell in love with the Seeburg mechanism, the M100 mechanism. I just fell in love with it.
Found it.
There you go. PS1. I wouldn't even know what a PS1 is. I know what it means, but I've never played one. Never played one.
Some good memories for those things.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'd rather be out with a wrench tightening something, and I've always been a fan of internal combustion, so that was my nemesis. Who out there has any questions about electricity, electronics, or anything?
Yeah.
Here. But what I'd like to do, I'd love to debug that that safety module just to see what the heck.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a regular, just even a regular heat gun, that could.
You think it'll soften it up? Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, you get
there can't be much in there for 5 wires. You know,
yeah, just use one of these.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have the one that you get at what is it? The one that Harbor Freight sells, that Style Master, something Master. Yeah. And that's what I use when I test my generators, because that thing goes from, I think, 1,500 to like 3,600, I think. What was that thing you sent me that time? Is that the one that has the 3 different ratings on it, the 3, 4, and 5? You had sent me something about, you used it in your video when you're testing out your generator. Is it a heater or something that has a 3, 4, and 5,000 watt?
Oh yeah, the garage heater. Yeah, it's an electric one. It's got the. I'm always on the hunt for a second one, because then if you can parallel them together, then you can pretty much go from 1,000 watts all the way up to 10,000 watts.
Cool.
That pretty much encompasses every single portable generator that I encounter anyway. The biggest one I've ever dealt with is a 17.5. It's got the V-twin, 30 horsepower, and I sold that one a couple years back to a food truck that was needing a new machine there, but that thing weighed a metric ton. Oh my God. Thank God that came standard with wheels, thankfully.
Yeah. Robert, hello down in Georgia. How you doing, my friend? He's down a few close to where they make snapper lawnmowers.
Yeah.
The garage space heater. But the best thing, though, and I still look to this day, every day, as a nice load bank, if I could ever find one.
Like I said, you're gonna have to make one. That's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna find 2 of those garage space heaters. Get a small sub panel with either a 4 or an 8 space, and then some 8-gauge wire to either hook up to an L1430 or the 50 amp, or like an oven type of plug, and then the 2 double pole 30s will run each of the heaters. That's all you really need.
Every time I see small engine Mike in his load bank, it's like it's the size of a Buick, you know.
Well, I mean, that's it. And you don't want to, I mean, I don't run the heaters for very long. I mean, if I know that it can handle the load, well, at the most, I'll run the heater for 30 minutes just to make sure that everything is running correctly. And then, of course, the space heaters are always great, especially for the smaller generators that only output 120.
Hey, Roy, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Let's see. Yeah, Roy is one of the small engine original YouTubers from way back. Hope all is well with you, Roy. Roadrunner, how you doing? Just to reiterate a couple of points we made tonight for those of you just joining us, when you're running a generator and you're getting ready to turn it off, shut the load off first.
Unplug it.
Let it cool off, let it idle a little bit, and you'll thank yourself for it in the years to come.
Yep. You don't want to be. It's interesting how that they don't, like you said that earlier on in the video, Ken, that they don't, the dealers and the stores, they don't tell any of this stuff, how to operate them properly. And frankly, I haven't read any of this stuff even in the instruction manuals. They're probably not as forgiving. They figure that they're just going to be used and thrown out.
Oh, Robert, they shut down the plant, huh? Oh, no kidding. I remember Snapper in McDonough, Georgia. Yep. Oh, wow, that's too bad.
Those old Snappers, yeah.
Oh, I love Snapper. I have a rear engine rider. I absolutely love it.
A pain. Drivetrains on those are a pain.
Oh yeah, but I tell you, you can't kill them with a disc and all that.
You snap a bolt, you snap the axle bolt if it that whole and you got no brakes, you got no drive, you got nothing.
But guaranteed to pop wheelies when they're running. Right?
Oh yeah, pop wheelie, sure. But I mean, to me, I have a client that has one of those with the 12 horsepower Briggs on it, and I said, you know, because what happened was he put a regular bolt in there, and it actually caused the hub to mushroom out. So I went and got the right pin for him. I said, listen, you're going to need to replace the hub at some point, but you know, he was having a hard time because he's got a pretty steep driveway, and it wound up getting. He went flying into the street because he didn't have any brakes.
The only thing I hate about mine, though, the front ends are so light that you can't steer with them. You just can't. It should have 150-pound weight on the front of them, just because they got those little 6-inch tires. And then if you're trying to go around a turn, the wheels are turned and you're just pushing it. You know, it's so much, you know, oversteer. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've hit, my neighbor put up these evergreen bushes and I plowed through 3 of them already because I couldn't make the turn in time. Just right over the top. And it's like you figure, oh, let go of the foot pedal or so that the blade disengages. Nah, my foot was still down. It's like I scalped his bushes like 3 times already. You know. What is he saying? Is it a good idea to run once a month instead of letting it sit? Well, it depends. Are you talking about for the health of the generator or because of the fuel in there? You know,
both.
Yeah,
both. You know, keep the resid, put a load on it. You know, run it for 15-20 minutes. Make sure that it gets up to operating temperature. You know, good health for the engine to keep the fuel fresh in the bowl. Evaporate any water vapor, moisture that might be inside the oil in the crankcase. And then to keep the magnetism charged up inside the rotor. Yeah. So, I mean, it's run it once a month. Sure. But I mean, I don't even let it sit for that long. I usually run mine every other week for a few minutes just because I don't trust the ethanol fuel that they have in the fuel these days.
But is yours inside gear, outside?
Yeah, it's outside. It's inside. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
A lot of people keep them in their sheds, which is probably terrible. But...
Or you can convert to propane like I did.
Well, yeah. You want to show that kit? Do you have it handy? I know you.
I can go grab it, but I might. Yeah, I can go grab it real quick to show everyone. But yeah, propane is definitely the way to go. Give me a few minutes. I will go and grab that.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, those that don't know, there's a kit that he knows the guy who designed them, whatever, and he bought one. It basically acts like a gasket, if you will, between the carburetor and the intake, and there's a little hose that goes up into it where your propane is supplied into the engine. It's a pretty cool setup. So when he comes back, you'll see it, but it's really interesting. And it's pretty affordable too. It's actually not too bad. We were talking last time we were on about propane versus natural gas versus gasoline. And you get a lot of people saying, oh, I got my gas grill tank. Well, that little 20-pound gas grill tank is only going to last you about 4 or 5 hours. People think it's going to last them for days. No, it does. It's less efficient of a fuel, so it takes more to burn it, so it doesn't last as long. Thomas is here. Hello, Thomas. Jason Hughes, Road Runner. Hello. Everyone's saying hello. But yeah, any questions you guys got regarding electrical, electronics, anything with generators? Mr. Condon is probably on the train right now, so I don't know if we'll get him back, but Gary is very resourceful and knowledgeable about electronic generators, small engines, all that stuff. He actually has a store north of me in Connecticut, or a business, if you will, where they repair small engines and generators, and he does electronic repairs and things like that. So pretty resourceful guy, pretty knowledgeable guy. I call him James Condon on steroids because I think he's just a plethora of knowledge. So what are we saying here? Hooray for propane. No more carb problems.
Okay.
Hey, there's Mr. Clem. You made it, John.
And I'll give a short take a look at this here, and then I got my 10-minute warning for dinner here from the wife, so I will need to. All right, so what do I want to show you guys first?
Well, could you explain real quickly gas versus propane versus natural gas, good, bad, and different?
Yeah, so gasoline, you know, the biggest detractor is that it doesn't store very well. You know, even if you put the stabilizer in it, it is still going to go bad, especially if you leave the vent open on your tank. And you know, it turns to if the ethanol in the fuel starts to crystallize, it starts to go separate from the gasoline, and you get that varnish, you get the sugar crystals, basically is what it is.
Yep.
And you know, I don't really like using it any more than the next person, but the best thing you can do is to keep cycling it through, keep running, burning the old fuel off so that the new fuel can be used. Yes, so Mark is correct. Yeah, I do not use a 20-pound propane tank. It'll serve you very well in the summertime, but in the winter, no. It needs, so the gasoline and the propane conversions work on vaporous fuel, the vaporous propane, not the actual liquid. And I use a 100-pound propane tank to run the generator. And that gives me enough, it has enough surface area to vaporize that. But so normally you would find like a Venturi. That's actually what's on my current generator, but this is the kit. And this is what replaces the Venturi. So this is basically just the gasket that goes between your air filter and the carb. And then this probe here goes into the throat of the carburetor. And then this is where the propane gets injected into the throat of the carburetor.
So a butterfly is not used anymore. It's just based on the regulation of the pressure.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have, well, let me show you what this is. If you go to motorsnorkel.com, let me just pull this up. I'm having internet issues.
Oh, I could share screen too. Let's see. Snorkel tri-fuel conversion kit.
There it is. Okay, got it. Yeah, so conversion kits. Just out of, let me just pull up the cost of this, of what I'm going to show you. This is. So I'm going to pull up the 7000 EXL. This 7000 EXL. That's what I got. So the GN 410, which is very common on all the Generac ones. So now, if you wanted the tri-fuel, the kit that I'm showing you is the tri-fuel conversion. So it starts off at $187.
Yep.
For the following parts. So you're going to get a bunch of hardware, some kits. They have some bolts and whatnot to mount the regulator. You're going to get the motor snorkel, which is actually patented. And this comes in really handy because the Venturi will usually add too much space in between the carburetor and the air filter to where the carburetor the air box would be hitting the frame rail. So some people actually cut the frame just so that it could fit. You don't need to do it here. And it's only about just a very thick gasket, if you will. And then this is connected to your demand regulator. Now, do
you have to get longer bolts then for that thicker gasket or no?
Not necessarily. They used to do that with the Venturi, where they actually had stud extenders that came out. But this you should not need to. It's just, basically a double gasket, basically. But this is connected to your demand regulator, and all this. It's got I have some quick disconnects, but the tank pressure is brought down from tank pressure down to 11 inches of water column. Now you can't, if you're going to connect a barbecue grill tank, this is separate. This is they call it the NPSK kit. You can either get a 6-foot or a 12-foot, and it's got the primary regulator here, and then I put the quick disconnects here.
Now, Gary, do you sell those kits for him, or is it?
I am a dealer for them, but I would usually have to buy them in bulk myself in order to get a slight discount on them. It's just that how many people actually want to convert to propane? It's just not, unless you're losing power every time a squirrel farts. It's not really practical to spend. This is it's about $187 for just this setup right here, and then that's another $50 or so.
Okay.
Maybe another $25 on top of that for the quick disconnects if you really wanted it, but then you can just use the stock flare fittings.
Now, if we could you explain for the audience out there, because I know I didn't know this for a while, pressure and water column versus, say, PSI, and how low it really is on a propane system?
Yeah, so 11 inches of water column is about 1.5 PSI. It's very low, but it's also high volume. It's the volume of gas that's going in. So you're taking tank pressure anywhere from 650 to 850 psi, and you're regulating it down to a very low pressure. And then what this is called your demand regulator, and that's why it's so large. It's taken a large volume of gas coming in and then regulating it as the engine takes it in to burn. And then you would have to adjust it up here. This is what's called your load block. And I think we discussed it from the last live, but this is where a lot of people
rich versus lean, propane versus gas. There's not the same. Yeah,
right. It's not the same. So if an engine is running let's do the gasoline part. So if a gasoline engine is running too rich, it's going to run a lot cooler. And the reason why is you got liquid gasoline that's cold, that hasn't been combusted yet, that's hitting the metal and it's actually cooling it off. So if you're running a gasoline engine rich on liquid fuel, it's going to run cooler. If you start to lean it out, if there's less gasoline, then it's actually going to burn hotter, and you're going to start to see your muffler glow cherry red. It's the opposite with propane and natural gas with the vaporous fuel. So if you run lean on propane or natural gas, it's actually running cooler. And if you are running too rich, meaning more propane going through to your engine, propane and natural gas are a higher octane. Well, propane is a higher octane anyway, but there's less BTUs in propane and natural gas, and it also burns slower. It's got a lower, I believe, what's the term? The flash point is less, so it's going to burn slower than, say, gasoline does. So that's why the leaner is better on propane or natural gas. Otherwise, what winds up happening is you're going to burn up your engine. You're going to usually destroy the valve heads. The exhaust valve is usually what burns first.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, to me, this is a great system. I haven't run my generator since Hurricane Irene on gasoline. That's the last time I used gasoline with it. And if you buy a new generator now, and if that was only set up for gasoline, and if you want to convert it to propane, you still have to run it for the first 5 hours on gasoline so the engine can break in. After that, then you're good to go. Normally with the generators that come, like say Champion generator, for example, they have a lot of dual fuel propane and natural gas models on the market. They're already broken in to where you can use either one right out of the box.
How is Champion though? I mean, when I first saw Champion, they were more at the dollar store. It was like, it's a cheap Chinese. They're getting better, right? With quality.
They are getting better.
Yeah.
And I do have a corporate account. I have a business account with them because I have repaired quite a bit of their machines.
So warranty work and stuff?
Not warranty work. So the problem is, I mean, I work out of my house. At least the state of Connecticut anyway, is, you have to have a commercial space, and they don't want to, because if you become a dealer, you're also a service center. I can go and buy parts, but if you become a service center, for example, well, then they're going to start sending people your way to do warranty work. And I'm not outfitted to do that, unfortunately.
Cool. Let me get back here. Hold on.
Yeah, but the Champion's definitely getting better. I mean, there's some other ones that they're all pretty much made this in the same manner. I really think that you get what you pay for, and for the amount of times that you use it. Some of the higher model level Generacs are great, but I mean, who's going to spend $2,000 for a 8,000 watt generator? It's just not really practical for a lot of people.
Cool. Anybody else have any other questions? Hey, Tim Palmer's here. Hello, Tim. I know we answered a few things. I'm trying to think. I wish Boo Luquette would come up. He was trying to get there, but I sent him the link. He has the link to go into the basement. So I don't know if he's on. Let me go back up in the chat. I missed a whole mess while we were talking. Let's see. Roy came in. I saw Roy. I saw Edward.
Looks like they've been having some side conversations here.
Oh yeah, you know what it is? It's the whole small engine community, Gare. We've known each other now for 2-3 years, and we're all like one big happy family. And
thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Oh yeah, we all go into the chats. There's a chat every day somewhere in the world that we are usually privy to. So yeah, and we have fun. We actually have a ton. And like tomorrow at about 2:00 our time is Mick's old stream, now held by Phil, which is Top Conquer, and we have an
Cool.
absolute blast on that. I mean, and then mine Sunday morning, I'll go to Duchess at the crack of dawn, get an omelet and just BS for 3 hours, So
Well, there you go.
my family don't get up till 11 o'clock on a Sunday. So for me, if I'm up at 6 a.m., I've got 4 or 5 hours of free time to just do what?
So that's how it works.
Oh, they don't get up. Yeah, I'm serious. They don't get up till 11 o'clock. So if I'm sitting in this room doing my chat at 6 in the morning, they're going to be screaming because they just went to bed at 2 in the morning.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's usually my bedtime. It's normal hours these days, but I hate to cut this short, guys, but my dinner is waiting downstairs. But certainly, well, thank you so much for having me. And certainly, if there's any questions, feel free to shoot me a comment, or I'll do my best to answer it. But
did you put the link out to your channel, Gare?
Yeah, I did. I'll send it out one more time. I have it here on.
I'll put it in the comments too, underneath the stream.
Yeah, it's the new. I was able to change it, so I just put it there.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, for sure. I mean, there's I'm working on some pedal power supplies from a Chinese company that I'm helping to review and to kind of debug. But I will be digging into that Kipper generator in the near future. I don't like working in sub-0 degree weather.
There you go. Crypto says you look like a game producer. So. All right, Gary, I will let you go. Go see your lovely wife and have your dinner. And I do appreciate you coming up. We'll do it again. Absolutely. We'll do it when
I'm definitely down. Definitely down.
Oh,
and
yeah,
hopefully, I know James is on the train now. So have a safe trip home, my friend. And we'll.
Yeah, I hope it helped out the people in the UK that didn't have to wait till 3 in the morning.
Yeah, no, I know it's usually at night that we do it there, but it's great to see everyone in the UK.
All right, Gary, appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Take care. All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up. I didn't say hello to everybody in the chat. I see we have, let me go through a little bit of the chat. Hold on. Let me go back up there. Let me go back up here. Everyone's saying hello. So we got hello to Grass Cutter Palmer. Mr. Clem is there. What generators do you like recommend? Jim, we'll talk about that next time. Sandy Rose, we said hello. Let's see. I'm just trying to catch up on the comments here, people. Day out from the mental house. That's what it is here every day. Streams are full on banter. Oh, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely have Gary joins. Hopefully we get to Conquers tomorrow. But like I said, I try and do these to answer questions. You know what I mean, Mr. Mo at all. We want to get some data and questions and answers. And that's why I do it. This is the technical Let's Talk Tech. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. Gary is just, like I said, a wealth of knowledge. Unbelievable. Everyone's still saying hello. Just here for the beer and the banter. That's okay. You can still have beer and banter, but we try and answer all questions that we can. Jim's saying hello. I wonder who that is. Crypto, you got a picture of that guy? I'd like to see a picture. Send me one. I'm curious who you're talking about. Yeah, let's see. What is this here? Be strippers after. 0-0 beer. For the flavor, Simone, for the flavor. Everyone's saying hello, hello, hello. Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. Who else we got in the chat here? Crypto saying hello. Tim is saying hello. John, Jason. Boom. Let's see. Edward is here. Hello, Edward. I didn't say hello to you before. Yeah, thank you, Klaus. It was fun. Thank you for staying up, everybody in the UK. We do appreciate it. I know it's about 11:15. Actually, Klaus, it's 12:15, so thank you as well. And thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you to Steve for the super chat. Appreciate that as well. Klaus, I'll see if I can get that package out tomorrow. It's going to be a busy day. If I can, I will. If not, I'll have it out during the week because I have next Friday off. So if it doesn't go out tomorrow, it'll go out this coming Friday. All right, everyone's saying hello, hello, hello. Oh, let's see. A little bit more chat to go. Hello, hello, hello. 9:30 UK. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like I said, remember 4:30, Luke. You know, most people are still working here in the States and all that. So I'm trying to give a happy medium. I mean, I know when I do my morning one on Sunday, you guys are all cool with it because it's only like 1:30 your time. So, but we try and time it so you can see. I know people love talking to Jim and now Gary and everything. Hey, how you doing, Marcus? Good to see you. Stella, take care. Let's see who else we got here. Everyone's saying hello and goodbye. Hello, hello, hello. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Crypto, Sandy, Tim. I'm getting close. Everyone's saying hello and goodbye and good night. Let's see. What do we got here? Most streams are hit and miss. Yeah, depending on work and all that stuff. Yeah, but Jordan, you work third shift, don't you? I thought you work night shift. All right. Henry. The James Condon. Yes, it was. Absolutely. On his way home from New York City. Everyone's saying hello. Yeah, I mean, whoever wants to come up on panel. The thing is, like I said, when I do these chats, these are definitely for questions and answers. I mean, the banter chats, all the rest of them are a lot of banter. I like to do technical chats once in a while just so people can get some questions answered. Like I said, Gary and James Condon, just a plethora of knowledge. Hello from Indonesia. Hello. Good evening or good morning, whatever it is there. Hello. Glad you showed up. Let's see. Duchess Fund. Yeah, no, not tonight. Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I might go out for a coffee. We'll see. It's Friday night. I keep forgetting it's Friday night. It's getting cold, though. We're going to get into the single digits tomorrow. So my son wants me to do brakes on his car. So that's going to be fun in 4-degree weather. Ought to be evening, or ought to be fun. Hello, Oil Tech. Good evening to you. Everyone's still saying, man, there's more in the chat. Holy cow. Everyone's saying hello. Hello again from Indonesia. Hello, hello yourself. Lionel Richie, All Night Long. I remember that song. He's saying hello again. Oil Tech. Everyone's saying hello to Mr. Clem. Mr. Clem, you knows bros. Hello, hello, hello. I think I'm getting toward the end, guys. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I know I'm a certain age group. Johnny, Jason, Henry. Have them make you fret. Yeah, last night it was kind of like a percolator. It was a little overcooked, but it wasn't bad, though. You want the... Oh, let me throw those out there. Hold on. Virtual background just for crypto. Crypto, did you get the stickers on? I'm hoping... Because Simone got her stickers. So I'm hoping... there we go. For crypto, there's the red-eyed frogs. She likes the frogs. Uh-oh. Why aren't they showing? Can you see the red-eyed frogs? I put them on. See if they're showing up. Let me know if they're showing up, people, because I can't see anything on my screen except for the text. All right. Hello, 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 hello. Boom. Oh yeah, it was a fun night. You too, JP. Bedtime. All right, Klaus. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Appreciate it. You can see it. Okay, I can't see anything on my screen. I just have a black screen here. I don't know why. I don't know why. Hopefully the frogs are there for crypto. JP with the mail. You see the... Okay, I can't see anything. I just see a black screen. All right, I'm caught up. Guys, I got to go. Dinner time. Crypto, John, Marcus, Tim, Thomas, Andrew, everybody. Have a great night. We will talk to you soon. Thanks for showing up, Ronnie and everybody. We will catch you on the next one. Thanks again. I'll let you know when the next one's going to be. Take care, everybody.